All right, looks like we have our usual cast of characters. Happy Saturday, you guys. Happy early Father's Day to all the fathers out there. All right, so we've gone through 22 practice question sessions. This is number 20. We've gone through 21. This is 22. So by calculation, we've done about 525 practice questions so far. It's quite a bit of content. So all this stuff is up on YouTube. I was behind on uploading some for a minute there, but they're all up there now. All right, guys. I won't take up too much of your Saturday, so let's go ahead and get started. Question number 1. Which of the following transport layer protocols provides flow control? We've seen this before. So we've got UDP, TCP, and I think the other two are outliers.
It's ready.
Say again?
I'm ready.
All right, go for
it. D.
Delta. Hold on just a second here. Give me just a second, pulling up a muscle memory chart. I haven't showed you guys these in a while, but they do come in handy. So we're looking for OSI model, transport layer. If I make this bigger, transport layer has TCP, UDP. I think really should be at layer 3. But yeah, so these muscle memory charts, all the stuff that you have to memorize is listed in these muscle memory charts. It's in our course material. So I like to refer to these from time to time. And that one for me confirms TCP. Number 2, if a system's development lifecycle methodology is inadequate, the most serious risk is likely to be that the project, what? I think we've seen this one before. Anyone ready?
Yes.
All right, go for it.
B.
Anyone else?
I say Delta.
Yeah, I'm leaning in that direction as well. In fact, I think that's what we chose last time, and we were correct. Anyone else? All right, let's try that one. Number 3, which of the following sections of a technical security report is the most critical to include? Technical security report. Yeah, we saw this one last session. Go for it.
D.
Delta. Recommended.
Delta, yes.
I'm sorry? Okay, all right, yeah, pretty sure about that one. Number 4, deleting a file typically produces which result? Deleting a file. Yeah, we've seen this one before. This is a layup. Anyone ready?
I say Alpha.
All right, anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
I concur. The marking of the area of disk where the file was stored is reusable. Doesn't remove the information, it just removes the marker that identifies where that information was stored so that other information can now be stored there. Number 5, which of the following statements is true with respect to disaster or discovery is true with respect to discovery in a legal case? We've seen this before. Anyone?
Charlie.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyone else? Data that has been retained due to a retention requirement is subject to discovery. If the defense retains information, they must share it with the prosecutor and vice versa during discovery. Number 6, which of the following is not an attack against operations? Not an attack. Against operations. A little bit tricky, but anyone ready?
I think Delta.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, anyone else? That's what I'm thinking.
D.
Delta, known plain text attack is attack against cryptography. Wouldn't necessarily call that attack against operations. Number 7, blank represents the point in time prior to a disruption or system outage to which mission/business process data can be recovered. Yeah, this was a layup too based on our course material. Recovery of data. Anybody?
Charlie.
I agree.
Roger.
Recovery point objective, the point at which the data is recovered. Number 8, which of the following is the best way to ensure that a company's backup tapes can be used at a warm site? Huh.
Alpha. Yes.
Let's see, retrieve the tapes from the off-site facility. We're trying to see the best way to ensure the company's backup tapes can be used at a warm site. So they're at their primary site and they want to make sure that the tapes are available at the warm site. But Alpha says retrieve tapes from the off-site facility, from the warm site, and verify that the equipment at the original site can read them. I guess that's something you can do. And I don't like any of the other ones. I like Delta if it said warm site instead of hot site.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, Delta.
Yeah, if it said warm site and not hot site, I definitely would have chosen Delta. I think I'm gonna have to go with Alpha. It seems backwards. It's like they're taking the backup tapes from the warm site and then taking them to the primary site to see if they work there. I would think you want to take the, well, I guess everything's going to be backed up to the, oh, I don't know. We'll see. I'll go ahead and go with alpha here, but I'm not sure. All right, number 9, packets that contain routing information within their headers are referred to as what? Within their header. Anybody ready? Any brave soul out there? All right, I'm leaning towards Bravo source routing.
I concur.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right. Number 10, Bob has successfully tested his enterprise's business continuity plan in various ways, and now is tasked with performing the most rigorous test to assure its viability. Which of the following will provide this? The most rigorous test. This is a layup.
Delta.
Delta, full interruption test. Number 11, which is not true of a good one-way hashing function? Not true. All right, anyone take a stab here?
Alpha.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Anyone else? All right. Is computed on a portion of the message. Hashes are computed on the entire message. Number 12, what is meant by the phrase need to know?
Freddie,
Yep, go for it.
Charlie,
Anyone else?
Alpha.
I concur.
Yeah, so it is alpha. The difference between alpha and Charlie is authorization versus authentication. Need to know deals with authorization. Once you've authenticated yourself into the system, what resources are you authorized to access? And that authorization should be based on a need to know. And this is one where I read alpha and I was like, oh yeah, that's it. But you got to read through all the possible answers because there may be one that's slightly better. Number 13, under the General Data Protection Regulation, what is a data controller?
Ready.
Okay, go for it.
Bravo.
Okay, anyone else?
I think Charlie.
Yeah, I'm a bit torn.
What I read is there are two parts of this. One is data controller and data processor. Processor is one who processes the information, and controller who is the one who So I'm just collects the data.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Bravo as well, but I can see I was a bit torn between Bravo and Charlie. I
I
think,
agree.
yeah, I think B is a little bit better. I think Charlie implies you're processing the data. It implies that you've collected it. But the controller, I'm thinking, I can't really justify why. I just feel better about Bravo. But we'll see. Number 14, denial of service attacks are common tactics used by hackers to affect the service capabilities of companies' computer systems. Which attack would not be considered a denial of service attack? Yeah, this is a layup. I think we've seen this one before.
Delta.
Delta.
Yep, Delta, man in the middle. It's not a denial of service attack. Number 15, an activity that alters the state of a system is called a blank. Yeah, we haven't seen this one before. The state of a system is the point of the data at any, or the state of the data on the system at any point in time. Anybody?
Bravo.
Bravo, that's what I'm leaning towards. Anyone else?
I concur.
A state transition, when a system transitions from one state to another. Number 16, Amy reads a document from her workstation. 1, access the Aspen bridge by telnet. 2, alter or enter into privileged mode. 3, execute command 6 and press enter. 4, load the config file. 5, hit run. What type of document is Amy reading? Layup.
Bravo.
Bravo. This is a procedure, step-by-step instructions. Number 17, Roberta has been prosecuting attorney for over 10 years with a specialty in computer-related crimes. She has seen all types of cases with many different types of evidence. Which is least common, or which is the least common form of evidence that she has probably crossed paths with? The least common. I think we've seen this one before. We argued quite a bit over this one, if I recall. No takers? I'm leaning towards Charlie, conclusive evidence. While it is great evidence, I'd imagine it's difficult to identify and rarely make it an open and shut case.
I concur.
All right, number 18, when determining what biometric access control system to buy, which factor should be given the least amount of weight?
Delta.
Anybody else? Yeah, I think I agree with that. Reporting capabilities, not usually something you want from a biometric system. It's going to have auditing capability, but not necessarily reporting. Number 19, which of the following is an incorrect statement? No,
Ready.
we haven't seen this one before. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm leaning towards delta.
Yeah, I know. I believe number 3 is definitely one of them.
Yeah, number 3, and I've never heard of. I've heard of warm start. I don't know. Is warm start? Would you say it's more like wake up on LAN?
Uh,
But it does not associate with kernel or media failure.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'll agree with you on Delta 3 and 4. I think 1 is definitely not one of them, so that eliminates Bravo, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. I think it has to be Delta, but we'll see. Number 20, a government contracting firm uses classification levels within its data networking environment. Which of the following best describes why this data classification program is put into place? Yeah, we've seen this before and we chose incorrectly last time. Anyone? All right, as I recall, I think it was alpha, cost reduction mechanism.
I concur.
I didn't really see the link at the time, but
Why?
yeah, yeah,
I'm not understanding how. Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just don't understand. Well, why would data classification relate to cost reduction?
yeah.
Versus,
It's
but I
not
mean,
intuitive to me either, and I couldn't see it, and I don't recall what the explanation was, but we'll see it on the back end. I think it had to do with if you classify data, you grant access to it in an efficient way. It's not intuitive, but we'll see it on the back end.
So, can you explain what data networking environment is? Because I know with data classification, but how do you apply classification to data networking environment?
I'm not sure.
Don,
I have no idea what they mean about that.
okay,
Yeah, data networking environment. I don't know. I mean, your network is, um, your telecommunications equipment that connects all your servers and clients.
yeah, you can say, voice traffic or like, within your firewalls, you can do like bandwidth allocation based on the type of traffic, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. We'll we'll see the explanation on the back end. All right, number 21. Mike, who was a help desk support person, has recently been moved into the position of security awareness trainer. What is the purpose of Mike's new position? What is the purpose of security awareness training?
Ready.
All right, go for it.
I would say Bravo.
I agree. Anyone else?
I concur.
To ensure that all employees are well versed on the company's security policy and program. 22, what is the best way to avoid introducing vulnerabilities such as injection, broken authentication, cross-site scripting, and insecure deserialization?
Ready.
All right, go for it.
Charlie.
Yeah. Implement secure coding practices. Yeah, I think we've seen this one before. This is the more overarching answer, in my opinion. All right, 23. Which of the following is critical to creating a secure development environment? Okay. Anyone ready?
Is it alpha?
Anyone else?
I'm torn between Bravo and Delta, and I'm leaning more towards Delta.
Yeah.
I concur with Delta.
What'd you say again?
I concur with Delta.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Delta. I think I remember this one. Securing the development platforms and isolating the development network. You definitely don't want to provide the development team with all necessary access to production environment for product testing. You want to isolate your development environment, which becomes a little tricky in the cloud. We're working on a system now where they're accrediting the dev environment, the test environment, and the prod environment all as one system. And that's just bananas to me. But number 24, which of the following is currently the most recommended water system for a computer room? Yeah, we've seen this one before.
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah, I think that's what we thought the first time. Anyone else?
I think it's the Delta.
Deluge?
No, not Deluge. I was going to say Alpha.
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 Yeah, alpha is correct.
It is alpha, pre-action. Yeah, deluge, you definitely don't want a ton of water coming out into your computer room. Dry pipe is a good answer. You'd rather have a dry pipe in your computer room. That would give you time to hit a button to stop the water from flowing, but that's what a pre-action system does.
And dry pipe is normally used in climates where the pipes freeze.
Yeah.
So if you remember that as a selection, if you see dry pipe and pre-action, the difference is that normally dry pipe is used in areas where there's cold conditions where the water in the pipe will freeze.
Yep. All right. Good stuff. Thank you. Last one, 25. Integrity, excuse me. Integrity is a primary concept in many security models and policies. Which of the following statements is not consistent with the rules of integrity?
Bravo.
Alpha.
Bravo.
Not consistent.
Alpha.
Oh, wow. Let's see here. So alpha says approved subjects should never make unapproved modifications. I actually like that statement. Just because they're an approved subject doesn't mean they should make a modification to something, especially if it's unapproved. So I think that is consistent with the rule of integrity. The system should deal with internal and external activity the same way. I don't think that has anything to do with integrity. Charlie, unapproved subjects should never be allowed to make changes. Unapproved subjects. That's consistent with integrity. And then Delta, all subjects must have a need to know. I don't think that really relates to integrity. Jeez.
I was thinking Alpha only because, approved subjects, if they're approved,
then they're only going to make approved changes from integrity. This is a tricky one for me.
Yeah, I don't like the way this is worded. I don't like the way the answers are worded.
Just remember integrity, though. That's why I'm going with alpha, because the definition of integrity involves the modification or changes. So even if they're approved, if they're making unapproved modifications, you're interrupting integrity. Bravo is dealing with consistency, and unapproved subjects should never be allowed to make changes. I think that's with authorization or authentication. And then the last one is dealing with, I forgot which level that is, but yeah, that's why I chose alpha, because of the definition of integrity.
Yeah,
but then it's not the question says not, that's not consistent. It's not asking for what is consistent.
yeah, Femi, that's what I'm thinking. The question said not consistent with integrity. I think alpha is consistent with integrity.
Mm.
So I wouldn't select that one for that reason.
Oh, you got, okay, you're right. Oh, you're right. It's not. I got the double negative. You're right.
Yeah, that's what makes this one a little tricky. But the answers, I mean, Charlie, I think, is consistent with integrity. So I wouldn't select that one. So I'm going to have to go with either Bravo or Delta.
Okay, I'll go with Bravo.
I think I'll go with Delta.
Yeah, I'm thinking Bravo has the least to do with integrity out of all of them. But man, this is a tricky one.
Thank you, Femi. Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Nice catch, Femi.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we did. Now, God dog it, I want to get 100% one of these. Let's see, we missed 2. I don't think we got that last one wrong, but we'll see here. So UDP provides no such feature. Symmetric TCP doesn't exist. And RTP is an application layer protocol. So TCP is a transport layer protocol. Will fail to meet. Yeah, although all the answers are risks of an inadequate systems development lifecycle methodology, the first and most devastating is that the new system will not meet business or user needs and requirements. A technical security report is most critical to include threats and vulnerabilities along with the various probabilities and impacts of exploitation are certainly required in any technical security report. However, without advice with respect to recommendation of material weaknesses, the report has little to no value to the enterprise. So let me just look at these terms here real quick, because our definition of risk is likelihood versus the impact of a threat exposing a vulnerability. Those 4 components. So threat and vulnerability, they use those 2. So we're left with likelihood and impact, along with various probabilities or likelihoods and impacts. Yeah, they used all 4 components of risk in their. I think this is one of the first ever times I've seen a practice question use all 4 components of risk. All right, number 4, with most operating systems, file deletion merely marks the file as being no longer necessary, both with respect to the metadata and the data itself. No erasure or eradication is typically performed. Data that is legally required to be retained must be made available upon a discovery order. Known plain text was not an attack against operations. The other 3 are attacks that can directly affect security operations, but a known plain text attack is an attack against cryptography used in the environment, not a direct attack on operations. Recovery point objective represents the point in time prior to a disruption or system outage to which mission/business process data can be recovered after an outage. So yeah, guys, I'm still updating my course material after going through the new CBK, and I've decided to go through a lot of great verbiage like this right here. I've incorporated this comment here into my course material, so it's taking me a little bit longer because I'm using both of these sources, but I'm through 2 domains so far. Oh, we got this one right. Yeah, this one was a bit tricky, the wording of it, but a warm site is a facility that will not be fully equipped with the company's main systems. The idea of using a warm site is that if a disaster takes place, the company would bring their systems with them. Okay, so because they're bringing the systems with them. If they cannot bring the systems with them because they are damaged, the company must purchase new systems that are exactly like their original systems. So to properly test backups, the company needs to test them by recovering the data on their original systems at their main site. Source routing uses the packet header information to determine destinations. That was pretty easy. The full interruption test actually halts data processing at the primary site, forcing an actual migration to the alternate site. That's the most intrusive. A good and secure hashing algorithm creates a message digest from the whole message, not just a portion of the message. If it only worked with a portion of the message, the other portion could be modified and it would not be revealed to the receiver. What is meant by the phrase need to know? The idea behind need to know is that no individual should be granted access to information that is not required for them to do or to perform their job duties. Data controllers collect and store data about EU citizens, while data processors process that data from control or for controllers. Man in the middle is not a denial of service attack. Man in the middle attack is carried out to gain unauthorized access to messages between 2 victims. State transitions are activities that effectively change the state of a system. A system state is a snapshot of it at one moment in time. Any change that is made to the system affects its state. Procedures are step-by-step details. Conclusive evidence is by far the least common type of evidence. This type proves without a doubt that a crime has been committed. It is extremely rare. The most common forms are direct, real, documentary, and demonstrative. Primary considerations that should be put into the purchasing and implementation of biometric access controls are user acceptance, accuracy, and processing speed. Although reporting capabilities can be useful, it's the most insignificant of the list. We're up. Well, number 1 is not correct. So a system reboot takes place after the system shuts itself down in an uncontrolled manner. Grief. The following has the correct definition. Yeah, I don't like these kind of questions. Cost reduction mechanism. Yeah, so this is one we couldn't justify, but a data classification program is put into place to ensure that all types of data are protected at the necessary levels in the most cost beneficial way possible. Not sure how cost benefit comes into play with data classification. I guess the more sensitive data you'd put more resources behind protecting, the less sensitive data you wouldn't encrypt, you wouldn't spend money protecting less sensitive data, I guess. If done properly, funds are not wasted on over protecting data. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Data classification could not detect fraudulent activities, and collusion is when two or more people work together to carry out fraudulent activities. Although collusion is a bad thing, we do want to create situations where collusion is required. You want to require that two or more people work together, because most people commit crimes by themselves. They don't go around talking to other people about a crime they want to commit. Security awareness training exists to communicate a company's security plan and goals to everyone. Only a comprehensive approach of secure coding practices can avoid introducing the vulnerabilities listed in the question. The overall security of the development platform and network is more important than the selection of any given language, compiler, or case tool, and product testing should certainly never be conducted in a production environment. Pre-action combines both dry and wet pipe systems and allows manual intervention before a full discharge of water on the equipment occurs. And the last one, the system, all subjects must have. Yeah, we were torn between Bravo and Delta. The need to know concept is not part of the rule of integrity. It is part of confidentiality, or is part of confidentiality requirements. Yeah, okay. We'll get 100% one of these days. All right, guys. That is it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the dads.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye, guys.